I'm Steve,
I'm Tom.
and this is Demagogue News with things you need to know about Episode 16, the Bernie Biden fusion dance, the timeline future speculation, and news outside the Rona. What's up, Tom?
Same as it's like Groundhog Day.
Oh, it's Groundhog Day. I woke up not at 8 in the morning. Woke up around 1. Kind of rough to get out of bed. Yeah, every day is exactly the same. It's that Nine Inch Nails song. Every day is exactly the same.
Yeah.
But God knows it's definitely not the same every single day. Things have been happening every single day. What's the first on our list, Tom?
I guess the first thing, let's just do outside news, kind of get out of the coronavirus for a second.
Yeah, let's get out of the Rona. Well, I think a big one that's coming out is that we have saved oil. The oil industry has recouped itself. If you weren't familiar, OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, have been in a price war, and that's why gas is really cheap right now. I mean, look,
It's been great for us.
It's been awesome. I mean, I think unleaded normal is like $2.30 right now.
Yeah.
That's like 2005 right
in
there.
Nevada, yeah, that's super low.
So yeah, imagine California is it's a healthy, nice thing to see in California when it's not $4 a gallon.
Yeah, legit. Yeah, and what they're trying to do with the recouping, Trump brokered. It's 23 countries, which is all the OPEC members. They're withholding 9.7 million barrels per day, so that they're not diluting the price.
Right, an estimated like 10% reduction, but that's for the next 2 years, which is a strange thing. It's not tomorrow, so for the next like 25 days, everyone's allowed to pump as much as possible to fill up whatever reserve they have before this starts getting instituted. And I guess that's a good thing. I don't know. OPEC's weird. OPEC's a weird thing.
Cartel.
It's a total cartel. It started in the 60s, with like Iraq and Iran and, what was the UAE. And they just maintain the oil price to make sure that everybody gets paid. But, like, what the fuck? It makes no sense that that's allowed to be legal. And I get it that oil is, like, the number one thing. Countries depend, like Norway depends on oil.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia depends on oil. But it's weird that they allow this to be a thing. And it costs money to be in OPEC.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to it's very strange.
It's price setting.
It's price.
It's very robber baron-esque.
That's the reason we have trust laws.
Mm-hmm.
If you own too much of the market, you make the price. Monopoly. No bueno, right? Well, not with gas. It's very strange.
I mean, again, these are countries and not companies. So, like,
Venezuela or Petrobras, like, was it Citgo is Venezuela? The government owns the entire company.
Yes.
Like, I mean, it's a blurred line at that point.
that's true.
The House of Saud owns 99% of all the oil in Saudi Arabia, so they're a country and a company.
Then the question becomes, like, are we, as the United States, going to be the one enforcing the laws? Like, how do we... Like, you'd almost need, like, a one-world government, Stephen.
Well, their headquarters are in Austria, in Vienna.
Really?
That's where, like, Brussels for the EU. That's where their main meetup point is, I believe. Yeah, but it's basically country, hand finger signs that just maintain the price that's good for all of them. And I was reading into it, and a big thing now that the U.S. has become trying to become oil dependent is that we use fracking and tar sands.
Mm-hmm.
That's less efficient, so it's more costly. So another point of fact is if they could destroy the market because their oil is easy to get, they could ruin our manufacturing because our oil costs more. I think it costs like $3 a barrel for Saudi Arabia to make oil. And
Damn.
here it costs us, 25.
Yeah,
The less efficient ones cost a lot more. It's more effort to make it into gas. It's like, that's weird. And then, like, it's a company, but at that point, wouldn't that be affecting that's a national security risk. That's of national importance to make sure that we supply our own oil or are able to maintain the price. It's weird. It's weird that that's allowed to happen, but I guess we dodged a major price, government ending, apocalyptic, oil run.
In one market, yes.
In one market, yeah. All market's doing right now. I guess they have been pretty decent. Speaking of markets, if we go into economics, that's been a big talk about how bad is this going to hit the economy. Nobody's working. Stock prices are in the dumps. But right now, at the top point, MGM was almost MGM. The Dow Jones was almost at $30,000 a share, and the lowest was 18,000, which is 30% down. So we lost 30% in like a month and a half. And at this point now, we're at 23, which is 22% down. So it's gone up. So
Well,
there's
we're
just
still
some,
above like when Trump first took office.
yeah,
which
we're
is a
still
plus.
above that, but at a certain point, we lost all of that
Yeah.
in that first month. And they're bringing it up closer. MGM, Caesars, the two big casino companies in town, they're both around about 30 to 40% down as of today, which is pretty rough.
Yeah.
And those are the big employers in this town. Ironically enough, Berkshire Hathaway, I didn't know Berkshire stock was like $300,000 for a single share. That's a hilarious amount.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
it's huge. Like MGM at its lowest was $7. Oh, $7 a share. Okay, I'll buy 100 shares. I'll invest $800, $700. I'm gonna buy one Berkshire stock, or I can buy a house.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. But they're only down 18% as of today, which is pretty impressive.
I guess real estate hasn't completely. Been
Yeah, a lot of real
obliterated.
estate in Buffett's portfolio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, houses still cost money. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that'd be kind of freaky deaky if that didn't happen.
Yeah. Also, as far as real estate goes, just a little side note. The moon apparently being considered that we're going to put a base on the South Pole
hilarious.
of the moon for the Artemis project. So that'll be like your little pit stop on the way to Mars.
Yeah, NASA is dreaming big. I wonder if any money in these stimulus plans went to NASA.
Probably.
Somewhere.
Everybody's
somehow.
getting a piece.
Everybody's
of the
getting
pie.
some money. NASA, Elon's ready. Yeah, so we're gonna have a pit stop at the moon. That'd be awesome. That is total like 2001: A Space Odyssey.
It is.
Yeah, I mean we're not gonna be able to go there for lunch for another 100 years, but yeah, if you could see in the night sky and then there's a little, when it's a new moon and it's black, and there's just a little dot. It's like, oh yeah, that's where the colony is, right there. Wave to them, kids.
Yeah, that's kind of surreal.
That's sci-fi right there.
So,
We
yeah.
are living in sci-fi land.
Oh, definitely. I mean, hell, like everything's shut down. We are living in sci-fi land.
Yeah, this is all, might as well be fiction at this point. Freaking Stephen King novel that we're living in right now.
Yeah, it's weird. You have anything else on outside news?
Let's see. Non-corona jazz?
Yeah, anything non-corona.
Non-corona? No, that's like most of everyone's life right now. It's all corona. Let's do a switch over to politics. Biden is now officially el numero uno.
Yeah, he's not the
And-
official nominee, but I mean, come
At this
on.
point, there's
nobody else
when
running.
there's only one person in the race. It doesn't matter how slow he takes; he's gonna get first place. And Bernie, as of yesterday, has officially endorsed Joe Biden, which is sad.
It is actually.
It's actually
He's
really sad.
supposed to be the outside guy, and
He's supposed to be the man who is not with the corrupt DNC, which he said multiple times, he's been burned by once before
he has.
in a massive way.
And now he's collaborating with like the man, the Fat Cats.
Yeah, and at this point now, Bernie is actually working with Biden to make a 6 task forces on how they would fix everything, which is great, sure. Because everyone in the Bernie camp is just going to go over to the Biden camp. It's all going to be hugs and it's going to be finger guns and elbow touches.
Yeah. None of this contact.
Yeah, no
shit.
handshakes.
Oh man,
Which is, honestly, it's sad.
it's
Because
weird.
it's weird that, it's the chameleons. They can change face.
Yeah, but it's not. Especially for somebody like Sanders, who has this very defined identity.
The culture of Bernie Bros.
Yeah, like he's supposed to be the sort of like I'm standing up for you, the little guy, and he still works for the people who screwed him out of the election.
$27 individually. Yeah, and then now that's going out the window. It's going to the establishment.
Yeah, I mean, does that is anybody really happy with that? Like, it makes Bernie look like a sellout, and it makes Biden look like it.
He's grasping at straws.
Yeah, it does, and
Yeah.
it makes Biden voters kind of nervous. It's like, hey, I'm not actually down with the Bernie ideology, and now he's going to be part of your task force.
Yeah, and it's for Biden and Bernie had a virtual little conversation on their FaceTime thing that they streamed, and Bernie says, we need you to be in the White House. If it's gonna be somebody, it's got to be you. So it's above all else, Orange Man bad.
It always seems to come back.
It's funny enough. That's every single policy ever when it comes to anything left of center is Orange Man bad.
Yeah, but it's not a winning strategy. Like you don't.
No, it hasn't
have a
won yet.
message.
It hasn't won since 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's gonna be cool. It's gonna be interesting to see. We'll see what comes out of the Bernie Biden camp. You see how the DNC works with that. Oh, maybe Bernie Biden 2020.
That would be interesting.
That would be amazing.
But
But he's already promised he's gonna have a chick.
Yeah, well,
But if
Sanders
Bernie
just has
has
to
to
identify
identify
as
as
a
a woman.
female. Bang, bang.
Wow. It's like you can just
Foolproof.
do it whenever you want. Yeah.
Oh, and speaking on that topic,
Bernie Sanders.
It's
Bernice.
Bernie Sanders.
Oh my gosh. That would be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I definitely want to live in that timeline.
I want to be in that timeline. Bernie Sanders. His wife is now identifies as a lesbian
Yeah.
because he's a woman.
What if he just like wears a shitty wig? Like that's the only thing he does differently.
Just lipstick. He just wears lipstick and blue like eyeshadow. Just looks like a cheap hooker. That's what I want. Because at this point now he is a cheap hooker.
He is,
And he's just been
Like-
bought because he wants to eat. Because Orange Man bad. So what we got to do
he's getting.
is I'm going
pimped.
to work with somebody that I've just shit talked on, has been somebody who's not for the people, who's not a good person. We're gonna get to the whole sexual assault allegation in a minute. That's all plenty of jazz there. I've said all these terrible things about Biden because I think he's not the right person. And now,
Yeah, I think he's a bad candidate.
but no, I'm Bernie Sanders and I endorse Joseph Biden for president. Terrible,
Yeah,
weak, simp.
it is.
You lay
Like
over.
classic cuck behavior, just terrible.
And I don't want to see that out of Bernie.
No,
He's a fighting man.
Yeah,
Had a heart
exactly.
attack. Busts his ass campaigning. People love him. He's a man of personality. Remember the time when the bird got out on the podium? Like, nature has chosen Bernie. But no, you just, lame. You don't have to be a spoiler candidate. You're not going to run as independent and take all the DNC votes. But
yeah,
why would you just it shows how false it is.
it does.
And that's just disappointing to see. Because even if we don't believe in their ideology, like passionate people are rocking the vote and
Mhm.
doing their due diligence as a citizen to vote, and then you just say, "Oh, thanks for all the donations, I appreciate it. We're voting for this guy now."
Yeah,
Lame.
that is. It's very going out with a whimper instead of a bang, and that's how what his announcement was too. It was very weak sauce.
Well, you just got to cover your tracks and let's regroup under the Biden camp.
Yeah,
Let's go to
but,
Camp Biden.
and another thing that's really weird is that Obama and Hillary Clinton have not endorsed Joe Biden
You
as
think
of this
that-
recording.
And Obama would be bros with Biden.
Yeah,
you
this is
know?
VP.
Obama is the lord of the Democrat Party.
He's the honored elder.
He's the greatest ever. So why wouldn't he endorse for people that might not like Biden, but I love Obama? That would be an extra, notch on their belt.
It is.
And same would be with Hillary Clinton. Oh man, Hillary Clinton and Bernie work together with Biden.
Ooh.
That'd be like, that'd be interesting
That's
politics right
weird.
there.
But that is cause for concern if like two of the biggest stalwarts of your party don't endorse the presumptive nominee.
Right. Because everybody's supposed to be on board, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the plan, Stan. Apparently not.
Wait.
Yeah, Warren hasn't done it. I don't think Warren's gonna endorse anybody.
I think she's just salty though.
I think she's gonna sit there with her 80 delegates that she earned, and just gonna sit there. The kid that didn't get picked for basketball. Yeah, they instead of getting one team more than the other, they just sit out. They gotta sit with the other basketball and just be like,
I mean, she's salty, but like she did blow the lead in this one.
pretty hard. Yeah.
So yeah, I think the Democratic Party in general is kind of going through some growing pains.
I think they're just trying to pick up the pieces. They're trying to. I don't know about growing pains because they're not getting bigger. They're just trying to consolidate what they have.
Like growing pains is in like they haven't reached their like final solidified form of like what they're going to look like. It's just like everything's up in the air. Like there's not a unifying message
yeah, there's no unifying message.
other than Orange Man bad.
Yeah, Orange Man bad, and they absolutely believe that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Like, because people haven't heard that a billion times yet. Orange Man bad, Trump bad, demagogue, xenophobe, racist, sexist.
Yeah, it's a very negative message though. Like look at the other side of the spectrum. Like what's Trump's message?
Let's make it great.
Yeah, make America great again. Very simple,
Let's work hard and
but
be
it's
better.
positive.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of positivity out of the DNC.
I mean, Michelle Caruso Cabrera.
But that's she's
positive.
She's positive. There's some twinkling stars in that dark sky.
Yeah. Did we just endorse a candidate?
Michelle Caruso Cabrera for District whatever
14 of New York.
14? I think we did.
Hell yeah.
I think we need to reach out to their office. And this is paid for by Demagogue News.
Yeah. Considering we're not even New York residents, nor are we registered Democrats.
We're a political action committee. We don't be registered in that
Yeah.
state.
Fair.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely like keep watching this DNC for entertainment value.
Because at that point, it's basically evolving to that. A lot of people just don't have any faith,
Yeah.
left or right. Like they don't have faith in them, and then we don't have any faith in them. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. The soap opera is going down in ratings.
Yeah, it is. It's weird.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, speaking of them though, let's talk about creepy Joe Biden.
Yeah. So in the last was it a month and a half, you think? When did it all come out?
I want to say we were in lockdown when I started really hearing about
Yeah.
it.
So a woman named Tara Reid,
Not to be confused with the actress.
and Joe Schmo Tara Reid, came out and said that Joe Biden sexually assaulted her in a bathroom, and they came up onto her, penetrated her with his hands, and said all types of demeaning things to her, which is awful. And the Me Too movement, Alyssa Milano, the chieftain holding the torch to get the bad guys, these sexist, terrible politicians, has decided not to investigate or rebuke Joe Biden,
Yeah.
which is nice. She stated that I've known him for the past 15 years. He's a good person. It was an article in newspaper. Time's up. They're not doing investigations, so I don't feel like I should have to either. I've done my due diligence,
Jeez.
and I don't think it's a really big problem.
But I thought women never lie.
I
about
thought
this
it's
kind of thing.
hashtag believe all women.
Yeah.
I thought anyone with a claim should be listened to, because why would you make such crazy accusations if there wasn't a shred of evidence? Would you just lie to that? So
Right.
if that's your, that's which campaign you're running with, that happens. A woman comes out accusing somebody of defiling her and all these terrible things, and you're not gonna go to her aid. Even Rose McGowan, who was the center of the Harvey Weinstein thing, she is even talking shit to Alyssa Milano, because now it's totally 180. Nope.
Yeah.
Like, nope.
Certainly shows her integrity. Jeez.
Hashtag me too, unless you're blue.
Yeah.
Is that the story?
It is.
'Cause
Definitely.
that's what it's looking like
that's
now.
what she's running with.
Yeah.
So it's like,
And-
no, but he gets the exception.
He gets the exception. There's been almost like smear campaigns running against Tara, trying to make it like fake news that she's lying, that it's not real.
Like, Jesus, talk about victim shaming. Like,
That's the word, victim shaming. I'm sorry. Shouldn't we look into this? But
Yeah.
no, he's the candidate that's going to beat
Mhm.
Orange Man, and Orange Man bad, which is disappointing, because if we're gonna have fair and equal, if we're gonna have equality, is it equality or superiority?
right now it's looking like exceptionism.
Exceptionism, and that's disappointing, because if Tara did go through this terrible times, shouldn't she have some retribution? Shouldn't justice be used to help her?
She should. But unfortunately, there's not enough funds to to do the
We
investigation.
can't investigate that. It's too busy right now. Quarantine. Ooh, can't go outside. Quarantine. Yeah. Sorry.
Like, yeah, we are defending women, except
Yeah.
for when it's inconvenient.
Yeah. No. not gonna do that. Sorry. Yeah, it's a bummer. That's hilarious.
Yeah, definitely expect Trump to play that heavy.
Even the New York Times posted that that the allegations are weak, except for the times that Joe Biden has made women feel uncomfortable by unwarranted hugs, kisses, or inappropriate touching. And that was a tweet by the New York Times, and then they edited it and took that last piece I just said out of it.
Ooh.
The media is unbiased. Okay, sure. Why not?
We should know. We're media.
That's right. We're media. We're totally unbiased. Listen to us. Your benevolent benefactors who will give you all the information.
Yeah, we're flawless.
Flawless.
Jeez. So I don't think we really can't do an episode without talking about coronavirus.
I
Unfortunately,
don't think it's impossible. It's everyone's favorite word now. You know, it's even cooler than slice. It's even bigger than Tiger King. I don't even know how, but it is.
that breaks my heart.
I know.
I love Tiger King.
And right now, it's looking like we're in the throes of it. I think this is the middle of the valley.
It is.
Yeah,
we're-
before the light in the end of the tunnel, it's like the tunnel's a U, and we're in the middle of it. We can't see anything. Can't see behind us. Can't see in front of us. We're just
yeah, it's
trucking
completely
along.
blind. So we're supposedly supposed to hit the peak. Now they've moved the peak date, which is weird. So the timeline that I've got,
Yeah, I thought it was this week.
Yeah, I thought it was this past week too. But they're saying goals for like April is that 500K tests a day, and then they want to ramp that up to 1 million tests a day in May. They're expecting a peak by then, which I don't know. I honestly think that we're there right now.
I think that just, I mean, it's the law of large numbers. The
Yeah,
more
it
you
is.
do, the more you get. So if we double again,
Mhm.
it's gonna look even worse. But
Yeah, it will.
we'll get the data, we'll get the information, we'll get the knowledge.
Yeah, so it'll appear worse, but it won't actually be worse.
Because it was there all along. We
Yeah.
just didn't know about
It's
it.
just our
And ignorance,
knowledge.
there's no helpfulness for being ignorant.
A little bit more light in that tunnel. So the first wave of people are supposed to return to work in June.
June.
Yeah, June. But
I thought-
that's from the federal government.
okay. Federal government. Okay, so their guidelines. Okay.
Yeah, these are federal second wave in midsummer. Schools are supposed to be back in session in September, and then the vaccine is supposedly going to be available for healthcare workers in October, and then
That's a little fast.
it is. I definitely don't think that's realistic, and then for everyone in March of 2021.
Hmm.
So, but that's just on a federal level. The governors have actually been talking amongst themselves.
Yeah,
as to
there
when,
was a
you know,
50 governor talk with everybody about reopening, or like the plans, how we're gonna start this up.
yeah.
Which is interesting to me hearing that now when if there's not a lot of optimism. I mean, I guess you want to plan now, right?
Yeah.
Just make some preliminary
It's good
plans.
to have a game plan,
Right.
at least. I'd rather that than like by the seat of our pants. Definitely earliest is Greg Abbott of Texas. He's
Yeah, almost next week before next, week after
this
next.
week, I think. Like this week or this coming week, he's expected to give an executive order to start reopening Texas, which Texas, even though like it has a large population, really hasn't been hit hard.
Yeah, I think statistically it's on the same for all the low states. Yeah,
Yeah.
like per
Which-
capita.
Which is also weird because it's borders, Louisiana, which has been hit especially hard.
Texas needs to secede. Texas, the Alamo will rise again. Have Texas split into its 5 states that it's allowed to do, and then have these 5 states make it a new country, and then just have borders around all
The
of it.
Republic of Texas.
Republic of Texas, baby. Yeah, we ain't sure about this whole united thing. We're gonna stick back for a little bit. Watch things play out.
Dude.
But apparently we're moving to Texas.
Yeah, we're about to be living under President Abbott of
Yeah.
the Republic of Texas.
We need to work, and if they're opening, we're open.
Yeah, I'm game.
I'm game. Start working in Texas.
Hell yeah.
Because I believe I have read that mandatory quarantine in California they're not even looking at anything before May 11th
Yeah.
at the earliest. So California ain't budging right now, and I imagine New York is gonna be in the same vein. Sure, Cuomo ain't doing nothing until.
Oh, hell no. Like, New York will be at the very end of everyone else.
Yeah, which I've been reading. Unfortunately, what's been happening is that the Javits Center and the USNS Comfort aren't being utilized
What?
barely at all.
Huh.
Yeah, for the 1,000 beds, that are in the Comfort, only about a fifth of them are being used. And the same thing with the Javits Center. I think it's even less because the Javits is like 2,000.
hmm
I think it's only about 10% of the Javits Center is being used.
So, really, the numbers were overshot then.
No, from what I was reading, that the qualifications for being moved to that place versus being at the hospital
Mhm.
are too high.
Hmm.
That at that certain point, it's only for people that need minimal care that could be discharged. But they would go to the Javits Center instead of being in the ICUs at the hospitals.
Hmm.
Now that kind of makes sense because makeshift hospitals versus the ICU, the actual intensive care unit in a hospital, because the Comfort is for gunshot wounds and battle wounds. It doesn't have, OBGYN doesn't have those type of things, and I can't imagine the temporary hospital at a convention center is going to be as sophisticated as in the hospital.
No, definitely not.
But they're barely being used, which is kind of sucks because that's It has big points of how good everything's working out. We got
Mhm.
we got hospitals, we got Navy ships. We're using every portion of the federal government, and then we're barely using them. That's not good. Can you imagine what Cuomo's talking about? And speaking of dumb government things, the PPP, the Payment Protection Program, for all
Paycheck,
these
yeah.
for all these loans for small businesses, apparently, on the rate that they've been accepting and going through all these financial lenders, either by this Thursday or next Thursday, all the money that has been allocated is going to run out.
Yeah. It's
So-
ridiculous.
They're adding another stimulus. Republicans propose $250 billion more dollars to be injected into this program,
Mhm.
so that more businesses. 'Cause at this point, I believe it's about only 1 million businesses that have taken advantage of this, but there's 30 million businesses registered in the United States, so 0.3%, which is not a lot.
No.
And we're already burning through cash like it's going out of style.
I mean, it shouldn't be surprising considering you can get $10,000 just for applying.
Hey, this is bipartisan agreement, right? They all dotted the T's and crossed the I's, right?
Yeah, they did. It was just apparently like a huge undershot. And then I heard that while Republicans want this loan to be put out, Democrats want that money to be pumped into like government institutions, which shouldn't really be surprising.
So the demands of the Democrats is they want this $250 billion, and then they want another $150 billion to cities and states, not defined what that's for.
Yeah, that's
and then
pretty
$100 billion
blank.
to healthcare, health workers, hospitals, that entire vein, not very specific, and a 15 increase in food stamps benefits.
What the hell?
Yeah, so they're holding that as their play, or we're not gonna. Yeah, that's their basketball that they're holding, and they're not gonna play unless they get that. So yet again, we are being used as political hostages by the Democratic Party to have things done in their favor. And at this point now, Congress isn't in Congress because everyone's being spread out by the pandemic. So right now, things can only be done by vocal vote or unanimous decision. So all 435 have to be on board, either no vote or yes, for things to be passed. And they're not gonna reconvene until May 4th at the earliest. So for the next 2 weeks, things are gonna go even slower. Great, because government was so fast to begin with in the first
Yeah.
place.
You know, the old saying, the opposite of progress is Congress.
God damn,
Nah.
ain't that right?
It's never been more right. Holy Christ. It's just like they kind of behave like kids who get their mom's credit card and they just like spend taxpayer money. Just
Well, at this point now, the numbers are hilarious.
yeah, they are. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's hard to in $100 bills, $1 million can fit in a big backpack. It's about 22 pounds. $1 billion is a metric ton. Now, 250 metric tons of paper, and that's just this portion of the PPE that we're trying to get through. Like, when you ever hold a large amount of money in your hand, imagine like filling houses worth, just impossibly large numbers, and they're throwing them out like it's candy, because at this point now, our fiat currency is just being spent like paper's free.
I'm telling you, it's one world currency.
The one world
Digital.
currency, digital currency. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, where's Bill Gates at?
We got to get the vaccine chips, the ID
Mhm.
2020 in. We'll be able to pay things with our wrist, just like wave it over. And if you don't get it, then you can't buy anything, you can't work, and you're basically excommunicated. Mark of the beast stuff, small fry stuff.
Yeah. This episode is brought to you by the Book of Revelation.
Hey, please sponsor us. Why not? Church, yeah.
Hey, God. Can
Yeah,
God sponsor us?
God sponsors Demigod DGN. It's 3 letters.
God news. am
Demigod
I
what?
Right? Like,
Christian channel. Yeah. Our government's basically pretty useless. I mean, it's being utilized at the fastest it ever has been before. But these, choke points that have been built from our founding fathers to be the checks and balances, not used
Yeah.
how they're supposed to.
yeah, the rules are kind of going out the window. And I just hope that a lot of this doesn't survive into the post-corona world.
Post-corona world. I don't know, because the urgency wouldn't be there.
It
'Cause
wouldn't.
now there's urgency. Things
Yeah,
gotta get done now.
There's urgency, but a lot of the sort of precedents that we've seen, like the government do, like a lot more government outreach, when it puts its tentacles into something, it rarely retracts them.
Yeah, the swamp only spreads; it doesn't retract.
Yeah.
So the more things that the government's into,
Like if we get into a situation where our government functions like China's and the government becomes the largest shareholder in a company, that's a huge cause for concern.
yeah, there was a talk about that in the press
Yes, it
conferences,
was.
that the U.S. government will purchase stock in companies to keep them afloat.
Mhm.
Well, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's
So
I
as
don't
being
like
a citizen,
that.
do I own 0.00000000001% of, BP?
I mean,
Or-
maybe nominally, but you certainly don't have any.
I don't get any
like,
dividends from
no.
that. Here's a penny. Have a good time. That's your dividend check.
Like that's look at Social Security. That's a really good return on your investment.
Yeah, 0%. And then because God knows we're not gonna get it.
No, oh hell no.
Our parents might. know-
Maybe
I don't know how old your parents are, but my mom's still got about 10 years to go before she can qualify
Yeah.
for that.
my parents are, they're getting close to that finish
Yeah.
line, and
Yeah, they might still be getting those checks. coming in.
maybe, but like the government's already spending so much money as is. Like they were already having a problem paying for Social Security before this all happened.
Yeah. It was hard nuts to pay for Medicare. Yeah. Somebody was telling me the cost of Medicare. That the cost of Medicare, the average cost of a patient that has Medicare, is about $75,000 per person
Holy shit,
per year.
that is ridiculous.
And most people that have Medicare are over 65.
Yeah,
And then anyone who doesn't pay taxes or pays very nominal, well, they don't pay taxes because they get the full refund back,
yeah.
or they get paid for the refund. They actually pull more money out than they put in. Medicare is wildly expensive. Because how much the cost for insurance and paying for that versus if we had to foot that bill ourselves, then that wouldn't be happening.
Well, you see, if we just listen to the Joe Biden task force,
Yes.
everyone will just pay into it, and we'll all have free medical coverage, and it will just work.
Right, because paying into it does not mean it's not free. Yeah. I just pay the government to figure out my problems for me because I'm so stupid I can't figure it out myself because the government is the most efficient way of doing things ever.
Ever in human history.
Endorsed by the DMV. The most efficient place to get anything automotive done.
And the VA.
The VA, the greatest hospital system, Veterans Affairs. Yes. No veteran has ever complained about the quality of care at a VA hospital.
Gets rave reviews.
Rave reviews. There's never problems there. Speaking of hospitals, luckily enough, blessingly enough, Bojo, Boris Johnson, out of the hospital.
Whew.
He was in there for a minute for some intensive care, but because he's got the Rona. And apparently had it pretty bad, but the leader of the almost free world of the UK is going to be all right, which is
Good
good.
for him.
Right?
Go Bojo.
Go Bojo.
God. Like, life is so, like, bland now.
Well, I mean, so I was going to pick up our next topic, the lady who killed her children, but finding news now, it is like, is media trying to push that this is the only thing to think about?
Yes.
Because as we research this podcast, we really try to find, we get topics, we break them down, the news that's coming out, that's mainstream, that's everybody's hearing. By this point now, it's Corona, Trump, Nancy Pelosi, House, and like hydrochloroquine bad. Dr. Fauci bad.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. You got to dive deep to find these journalists that are being allowed to publish these other news articles or report on things that isn't Corona. And it's kind of weird. Like, things happen every day.
Yeah. It's also weird because I think more Americans are watching the news than
Ever
before.
before. Oh, absolutely. Because you ain't got anything else to do. And, our leaders talk on there. So let's find out. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult to find stuff going on. Because, stuff doesn't stop going on. It's very strange. But for our light piece, some
Oh,
craziness
boy.
that's happening, because the world doesn't stop. And crazy people are still crazy people. A woman by the name of Lisa Snyder in Pennsylvania has killed her 2 children age 4 and 8, and apparently committed bestiality with her pit bull. And as of right now, the state of Pennsylvania is going for the death penalty.
Because
You hung your 2 children with one leash, and
Yeah.
she's trying to admit that that a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old decided to both commit suicide together.
yeah, that's absolutely disgusting.
Fucked.
And I definitely whatever she gets, like hopefully it's a death penalty, and hopefully it gets expedited because that is garbage.
Even during the end of the world,
Yeah,
still the crazy people out there. It's a wild story that she claims that they did it themselves, and that her 8-year-old boy was being bullied in school, and espoused these claims that he didn't want to live anymore. And yeah, so maybe the judicial courts are still in session. I think that's going to be a big story that's going to be popping around now that it's really coming out of local Pennsylvania news and starting to spread around. The world's a scary place, even without the Rona.
yeah. So definitely, it's always sad when you see something like that happen to children too.
Yeah, the butchery of the innocent
Yeah,
really
it's-
isn't anything to
Yeah,
be.
they certainly didn't deserve it. They're kids.
Yeah, cute little 4-year-old girl.
Yeah.
8-year-old boy. Probably plays video games. Got friends. Weird. It's weird stuff. And then also fucked your pit bull.
Yeah, that's
That's another thing right there.
also very disturbing.
Yeah, high five to pit bull mommies. Yay.
Yeah, really makes me rethink my stance on pit bulls. Maybe they should be.
First gay marriage, then what?
Yeah.
It's the gay agenda. They're taking over. Yeah, it's news right now. Got anything else, Tom?
Nada. Just stay safe, stay quarantined.
Keep your head in the swivel.